Welcome to the Speak on Our Collective Heads, and welcome to the Gold Plus Roundup, the monthly show where we review all of the games with gold and PlayStation Plus games and tell you what's worth your time. Because your time is valuable.
Indeed.
Time is money.
And just because something is free doesn't mean you should necessarily play it. But just because it's free also doesn't mean that it's worthless. So tell me about Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry.
Right off the bat, this is why we have these games. This is why we have games with gold. This is why we have PlayStation Plus, for these type of moments. Freedom Cry I passed on earlier on because this was originally DLC for Black Flag. Mm-hmm. The game starts out right from the beginning. You're on the boat doing all the cool stuff from Black Flag. You are playing a former freed slave who is in Haiti and these Caribbean areas where all the slave trade is happening and the plantations are happening. Mm-hmm. And you are going through a story and you also free slaves while you're doing it. So it's really interesting and they're so jam-packed with stuff.
Just Cause 3 got a lot more hype than, or a lot less hype than Just Cause 2 did, but they did definitely up the destructibility of the environments, the ability to do all kinds of crazy stuff. And even though it was kind of janky at launch, they did take a lot of time and patched out a lot of those things.
Correct. And I think this, if you like Just Cause 2, you're going to love Just Cause 3. It's still over the top. It's still ridiculous. The destructible environments in this game are what make it even better than Just Cause 2.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and this, again, is another game that makes your subscription worth it. Slime Rancher, on the other hand, is not. It's not bad. It's kind of mediocre. So it takes a lot of the ideas that you would do with Minecraft, where you're trying to create your own farm and create your own livestock to breed them and to then feed off of that. And it takes that into kind of an alien world where you're feeding chickens to slimes and you got to raise the chickens. And it was okay. It lacked depth, where Minecraft has that as a side thing, and you also have a lot of other things to do. It wasn't bad, but it is very grindy.
Okay. You have to shut off everything but the instinct part of your brain to play Downwell.
Really?
Downwell is so fast, because the entire game, you're falling, and you have rocket boots that have a certain number of charges, and you recharge your rocket boots by bouncing off an enemy. But the real objective is to keep your momentum going and go through an entire stage without landing. So you never get a moment's respite until you hit like a shop or the end of the level. There's one shop per level.
Yep.
And so you have to be able to analyze everything instantly. Know how to defeat this monster, know how to bounce off of this so that it unlocks things in a rock. And so everything is reflex and instinct.
Yeah.
And so if that's something that you enjoy, but you're not good at shooters, this might be something that you can enjoy.
Something that actually may work on mobile, though, Super Motherlode, I think could work on that. I thought this game was kind of mediocre. It wasn't bad. What they were trying to do with the game, they definitely succeeded with. You're mining on Mars, and you drill down, but you need to make sure that you can only drill to the side and down. You can't drill up.
Okay.
You can fly up like a hovercraft, and you get different materials, but you have a certain limit for your cargo. Mm-hmm. You have to repair your vehicle. You have to make sure you have enough fuel. It definitely accomplished what it set out to do, which is to give you it's very indie to me. It set out this interesting idea, and it accomplished it very well. To me, it didn't have enough depth. I'm glad we got it for free, though, because for a free game, this made a lot of sense.
Okay.
One game that isn't worth it, even if it is free, which it was Snakeball. Snakeball has horrible controls. Snakeball has an interesting premise where you go around in these things that look like bumper cars, and you grab these different colored balls and you put them into a goal, and if you put them in like certain color orders, like if you match all the colors, blue, 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 then you get a bonus for doing that. If they're random colors, you just get regular points, and you're doing that while other people are doing the same thing.
Okay.
So everyone's trying to grab them. It's like Hungry Hungry Hippos, except you can drive around in a bumper car.
Right. Which was always what Hungry Hungry Hippos needed, was bumper cars.
The only problem is that if you hit someone too hard, then you explode. All the balls that you had are just left where they were. The controls are what limits this game and makes it nowhere near fun enough. Yeah. It's not fast enough, and when it is fast enough, it's too hard to control.
controls, on the other hand, are great in Trials Fusion,
Yes,
where
they
you're trying to do tricks and you're trying to do stunts and all this kind of stuff. Trials is a series that's been going on for a while. Trials Fusion in particular.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts with this as it relates to the rest of the series?
So I liked it. I felt like this one was a little more over the top, a little more tongue in cheek, which I appreciated the way that they conveyed it. I mean, I did like 7 backflips off of a ramp, which I did not land. But before I was even doing that, because I was trying to do something ridiculous, and he's freaking out. Like, so if you do a big jump, he freaks out. If you land really hard, he comments. He's like, "Oh God!" Like you can hear the pain, and I thought that was really awesome. I thought that was really cool. Also, when you cross the finish line, he keeps going. He doesn't stop. He keeps going. So it's like, you won a medal. And he goes off of a cliff. He's like, ah! And you can't see him, but you know he went off of a cliff.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny. Like Super Meat Boy and others, where you're just like right back in there, try it again. And in the tutorial, they even comment on that, saying, hey, if you didn't do that well, restart the level for a clean start. I was like, that's great.
There you go.
So I really liked it in that respect. I also really liked Bayonetta.
Yeah, Bayonetta was exclusively on Nintendo for a very long time. It was really surprising to see Platinum be able to bring it over to Xbox,
especially with Nintendo's lawyers and everything. They don't usually let this happen. But Bayonetta was brilliant. The gameplay is great. It's fun. It's adult enough without being too adult, in my opinion. But also the idea of Bayonetta working for the demons and killing angels is really unique. I really enjoyed the game. I love the story and the gameplay. Ridiculousness of shooting with your high heels is just hilarious.
Yeah. Level 22 was a game that felt like a student project. It's basically an isometric pseudo stealth game, but it's way too easy. Like there's sometimes when you play a game and you're like, okay, I see the solution I'm supposed to do. What if I did something clever and did this other thing? Yeah. And then there's other games where it's like, okay, this is clearly what I'm supposed to do, but this game is kind of broken, so I'm just going to use that to my advantage. And I felt that this game definitely fell into the latter category, where there were just corners that hadn't quite been rounded off well enough. There is a safe in each level, and it says, a lot of times people, for their passwords, they'll just look around and see numbers and make a password from that. It's like, okay, that's kind of cool, so I need to be looking for numbers. The only problem is this is a 6-digit password every time. So and I never saw a group of numbers bigger than 3. So at the most, even if you notice the numbers, there's still multiple possibilities, or it could be like 222.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so I know the password. I don't know the password.
No.
So I just looked it up online and then tried to find it in the game or in the levels, and it still didn't work.
What I wouldn't skip is Red Faction Armageddon. I've never been so happy to be wrong about a game, because I'd been previously under the impression that this game took out the destructible environments, and I was wrong. What it took out was the open world aspect.
And we both really enjoyed the one before this, which was Red Faction Guerrilla.
Exactly. Guerrilla Warfare was great, and Guerrilla Warfare was more open world. The combat is very similar. You still have the amazing sledgehammer. Yay. There's so many things that are the same, except I got 4 hours into it, and it was linear to me. I was hoping that it would open up, but the fact that I got 21% through the story already, to me felt like I don't think I'm going to get. I don't think it's going to open up. The story is interesting. I liked what they did with it. I just wish that it had opened up. If it does open up later in the game, I didn't get to see it, and it was not quick enough for us to do these reviews. We have to play them relatively quick, and unfortunately, I didn't. If it does open up, I didn't get there. I liked it though. The destructible environments are there. The story is really good. The combat's really good, and it's unique. You can also not only destroy things, but you can build things, which I think is really cool, because if a bridge goes out and you're trying to escort a convoy and the bridge went out, well, we got to repair this bridge, so you can repair it. So I think that was really cool. It's a cool aspect to the game that allows you not to be stuck, where in Red Faction you would have to, make a hole in another way and through a wall. So it was really cool to me to do that. I just wish it was open world. So let us know in the comments what you think about the games with Gold and PlayStation games this month, and which games you'd like for next month, and who you thought would won this month, Microsoft or Sony. See you later.